Talk to it.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Dude, this thing's heavy.
I know it is.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, welcome back to another episode. This one is going to be different than what I'm used to because I'm used to having my co-host, but Ramon had to go to emergency and do something. He's busy, so he couldn't make it. We wanted to do a phone interview, but it's time-wise, like, wouldn't work out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. But right now, Kat's on here, so I have Kat.
Hi, guys.
So Kat's on this episode, and hopefully Ramon, comes, but I don't think he's not coming back.
Yeah, I don't know.
He has to do stuff, and then, doing the phone interview probably wouldn't work on this soundboard, knowing that he's going to be doing stuff and he's going to be really busy. So
We'll just have to see how it comes.
yeah. As of right now, this is me hosting by myself. But that's okay. So me and Kat, we were discussing concepts and seeing what type of content we can talk about on the podcast. And we were like, you know what, let's do 21 questions. We haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played 21 questions.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's roll the intro. Before we continue this episode, we want to give a special shout out and a special thank you to each and every single one of our supporters. This episode is sponsored by Rockstar Turtle. We want to say thank you to Rockstar Turtle for making a special intro song for us. All this couldn't have happened without each and every single one of you guys' support and help and love. We enjoy it. We want to give a special thanks to our friends and family and our fans and our supporters for allowing this to happen and allowing our dreams to continue coming true. We want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from me and from Ramon, for being blessed to be here and blessed to have these opportunities. This was an idea. This all started as nothing. It came from nothing. And now we have something. Some progress is better than no progress. It's something that we've learned. And this is to show and to inspire anybody else that's wanting to do something, to not be afraid to do it. To do it no matter what and give it your all. Give it 120%. And we thank each and every single one of you because a lot of this stuff would not be possible without your guys' help. So without further ado, thank you, Rockstar Turtle. This episode is dedicated to you. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you making this song happen. So we're going to play a clip as our new intro. And then at the end of the episode, we want to play the entire song. So if whoever's listening, they can listen to this entire song. The song will be out. Go support Rockstar Turtle. He's on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube Music. He's on a lot of platforms. Go give him a follow. Give him a listen. He's a great artist. We want to say also thank you to The Real J Verdi and Lavish Leo for making these things possible, for giving us the same drive, and to not letting us give up. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being a part of this. And we hope that you enjoy. Thank you. Peace.
We them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us good.
All right, welcome back. So, yeah, Ramon's not gonna come. He's not gonna make it.
Ramon's not here.
Yeah, so it's okay. We're gonna make it work. He is missed. It's okay. But yeah, me and Kat, we wanted to do 21 questions. We've done it before in our relationship, just to, ask different things as we evolve.
Something fun.
We grow and we evolve, and our answers change from how we used to be. Me and Kat, we've been together for 9 years and 4 months, 5 months, 4 months.
June, July, August, September, October, 4 months.
4 months.
What's the date today? Oh, yeah, still 4 months.
4 months. Yeah. And we've known a lot about one another. We've grown. We've evolved.
Well, 9 years with someone is a long time. You get to know them.
Yeah.
We've lived together for 2 of them.
Yeah. Pushing on a 3.
pushing 3. So yeah, that's us.
Yeah. I would say our relationship definitely got stronger and more
Oh,
understanding.
for sure.
You know?
Well, we met when we were 15. So we were 15 when we met. And I've seen him. We met because he slid in my Instagram DMs.
But we're not talking about a relationship, bro.
No, I know. But I'm saying since we met when we were 15, like we're 24 now.
Mm-hmm.
So like obviously you grow and change, and we've been through college, or we're going through college, and now we live together. So all that, your perspective changes a little bit.
No, yeah. So yeah, just our perspective does change, and we grow, we understand each other from a deeper level. And hopefully these questions that we have right now are different, and you know, maybe for them, maybe for the listeners, they can ask these questions to their partners, or they can sit back and enjoy our answers to these questions,
Or ask their friends, they're just questions to get to know somebody better.
Yeah.
To get a deeper
Understanding.
Yeah, a
of who
deeper
they are.
understanding, a deeper friendship. So yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's get started. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
You go first.
So there's this one. What does financial partnership mean to you? And how would you like to divide financial responsibilities in a relationship?
Okay, what does partnership?
Partnership mean to you?
What does financial partnership mean to you? So whenever I hear the word partner, it's like we're working together. For me personally, financial, what was the word?
Partnership.
What was the rest of the question? Sorry.
What does financial partnership mean to you? And how would you like to divide financial responsibilities in a relationship?
So for us right now, I think we learned from like we saw what other people were doing, and we asked around, and what works for us is we have our own personal accounts, and then we have a joint account. House bills, house necessity, all that, it comes from the joint account that we put money into. And then whatever like automatic bills that like automatically pool, they come from the joint account. Mm-hmm. I think it's important that we do, like we've been together 9 years, right? I trust him with everything. However, I do think it's important to have like your own money just to do what you want to do and not feel like you have to answer to anybody. And not that we've experienced that, but I know other people who have, and that's just not something that we wanted to get into.
Yeah.
So it was really important for us to keep our own accounts and just add another one in the mix. And that one is like money that we have saved for like vacation, or if there's a savings account and a checking account. The checking account is where we put like our phone bills, things like our phone bill. I think that's it for right now.
Right now, yeah. Phone bill, or if we have insurances, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so I know for us, it was hard to us to find a good example just because we both come from two different worlds.
Yeah, our parents are very different.
Yeah, so my dad was the breadwinner and my mom was a stay-at-home mom, you know? And for your parents, you guys, they both worked and they also shared a whole account.
Yeah, so they both worked, and then they just had one joint account. They didn't have personal accounts.
Yeah, so then for us, we were like, we saw the difference, and I was like, I never agreed with that, just because for me, for my personal thing, is like, your money is your money. What you work for should be yours. You know, whatever we have to pay, that's obviously stuff that we're going to set aside to pay.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to be like, oh, you know, everything that you make is mine and everything that I make is yours. Like, no, like that's not how that works. Because you work so hard for your money, you should have money for you to spend on yourself.
Yeah, and whatever you want.
Whatever you want, you know?
Yeah.
And I knew how it was for my family. You know, my dad always had to give my mom money, or if my mom wanted something, she would go ask my dad, you know? And we understand from their point of view, and we see it from everyone's perspective. And I know that shit just, for me personally, I knew it doesn't work because it just doesn't feel right for me to be, you know, hey.
Because then it kind of feels like an allowance, like you're giving your wife an allowance.
Yeah.
Or like your mom, like not just your mom, but like people who do have a joint, and maybe it does work. Maybe there is people that it does work for them.
Yeah.
But the examples that I've heard and that I've seen, it just doesn't. Because then you feel like you have to ask permission to one person to do literally anything.
Or you feel like the money that's there is spending each other's money, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just unfair. So that's just how I saw it, because I was like, no, because we know that there's a few people that have marital problems or resulted in divorces just because of money.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was how we handle things. We have our individual accounts, checking in a savings, and then we have a joint checking and savings account with both our name on it. So the joint account he has access to everything. I have access to everything.
We have equal responsibility for it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how we do things over here. Let me see if I have a question for you. Is there anything you're hesitant to accomplish that I can help you with?
Hesitant.
Is there anything you're hesitant to accomplish that I can help you with?
Probably not. You've been very supportive for me for everything that I've been doing. I've sacrificed a lot for myself, for us, for my family, just so that way I can get them a better opportunity, or us a better opportunity. So I'm trying to figure that out for us. I don't hesitate when it comes to a lot of stuff. I do get nervous, overwhelmed, but I don't. If I know what I want to do, I don't hesitate. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I think you're really good at that, like the like self-discipline. I feel like you're very self-disciplined, and like that is something cool to see you do, because my self-discipline is in the trash.
But you're learning, you know, that the ability that I am, I feel like it rubs off on you.
Yeah, that's
you're getting to be like me. Like I remember you would over stress about everything, or you still do, but I remember too, like you would be very sensitive to a lot of shit, and I'm not sensitive at all. Like,
well, I think that's where we're rubbing off on each other. Is that you're making me like set up boundaries and like enforce the boundaries, and I'm helping you like, okay, maybe we don't need so many boundaries. No, I feel like you
always have to have all the boundaries,
but I feel like we're rubbing off on each other in that way.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see too, how we're navigating each other, and then like what traits you want to take from me and what traits I want to take from you.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Your turn.
Let me see.
Also, I'm sick right now, so if I sound disgusting, please excuse me.
What are your goals for this relationship?
What are your goals for my goals?
Mm-hmm.
I think just to continue to grow together and to continue to like better understand each other. Like I feel like we're pretty solid right now, but as we grow and change, like I feel like we're always trying to learn more things about each other.
Yeah.
I was anti-marriage for a little bit. I don't think I'm anti-marriage anymore. Mm-hmm. Like the idea of marriage or of getting married with obviously you isn't as scary as it was like even a year ago.
Yeah.
So maybe marriage, I don't know, kids if we're lucky.
Yeah.
We definitely want to buy a house together, so that's something to look forward to. Yeah. That's me. What about you?
It's the same thing. For me, I do want to see that marriage, and I do want to see hopefully kids and shit like that, you know. But the reality of it, for my thing, is not that I'm afraid of commitment or anything like that, but I don't have an example, and I don't want to fuck it up, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're both coming from. It's because my view on marriage changed when my parents separated, and I think your view on marriage changed as well around the same time. For different reasons, I think.
No, mine's always been the same, just because of like how I grew up.
Yeah.
And like I know for me for a fact, like with kids too, like I don't want to be like my dad. I don't want to live like how they were living, and my mom and dad, obviously. And then also I want to be a better person, but then I also know like that doorway for us to even have kids is slim to none, and I don't.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah, and I don't like talking about it.
I don't want to talk about it either,
because it throws me into this rabbit hole, and then it's just fucks me up and gets me all fucked over. You know.
I just think, I think that you're right. Like marriage specifically, I think I feel like I've had a good example of marriage in the sense of like my grandparents are still married, like my best friend's parents are still married, and like my parents, from what I remember, had a good marriage, you know? But as they separated in that process kind of scared me because like, yeah, marriage is just a piece of paper. However, they were so intertwined that it was such a hassle to like untangle with each other. So that kind of scared me with marriage. Now I'm not so scared of marriage with you, obviously.
Fucking better. What the fuck?
Well, I keep saying it in general, like we're not talking to each other, but yeah, like it's not as scary as it was even like a year ago. So I can see that for us. I don't know about the whole wedding thing, but I can definitely see us getting married and figuring that out together.
Yeah.
What do you look forward to each day?
Each day?
Yeah.
That's tough. At the end of the day, I love coming home to us because I'm comfortable because this is our safe space. Because I feel like everything else is chaotic everywhere we fucking go. And at the end of the day, this is where me and you, there's no going back and forth. There's no issue. This is just, all right, we're back home, you know?
Yeah, I'd agree too. Like every day I look forward to coming home.
Yeah, because it's just, we deal with so much and then there's so much bullshit on top of all that shit.
Well, then we both have such big families. Like it's kind of hard to avoid all that.
I don't got a big family.
But even your immediate, there's like 7 of you in your immediate family.
Yeah.
That's a big, for people, it's like 3. So like even immediate family and stuff, like there is just a lot of people and a lot of feelings and a lot of conversations. So I think that's hard to navigate.
Yeah.
So I think when we get to come home and like relax, like that's my favorite part is like.
Yeah, and I'm just such a introvert. So I have really, really trouble being social. And I have like a social battery. And that can only give me just like a little bit. You know, and then before I fucking go on E, and then I'm like, all right, bro, I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be home just to stay quiet and not say anything, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's draining. It's draining to go and talk to people and continue having conversations and then to keep this.
Well, even just in like general, if you're like, if you're over it, you're over it, you know?
Yeah, and I do get over it like pretty fucking quick. And it's just who I've always been. It has nothing to do with like the person I'm talking to or anything like that or where I'm going. It's just I'll socialize for like 30 minutes and after that leave me the fuck alone. Like respectfully, bro. Like I don't like talking. I don't know. It's just the way that I was raised and the way that I grew up and I just don't. I don't want to continue talking, you know?
That's fair.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
What is your favorite way to communicate?
I'm like, what are the different ways to communicate? Like texting, calling.
Okay.
Like communication is so like, what are examples of communication?
I don't know. I guess it could be verbal. It could be physical. It could be, you know.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, depending the situation, a lot of the time it's like verbal. Like I want us to sit down and hear each other out. Sometimes it is important to like when we're having hard conversations to touch each other. Like I'll touch your leg or I'll touch your shoulder. Because I don't want you to feel like I'm against you.
The physical connection.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel like in our hard conversations you're like alone. So I'll like touch your shoulder and you're pretty good about it too. You'll touch my knee or.
Well, you don't like that. You don't like getting touched when it's something, you know, when we have to have a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. I think it depends the conversation because I feel like if we're having a hard conversation, you're just like trying to touch me to like smooth it over. Then I'm like, no, we're not done talking.
No, and it's not even like that. It's just how my love language is.
Yeah.
Know? And it's just, my love language has to be physical touch, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Like, I need to be holding your hand. I need to be, you know, hugging you or making sure that everything's all good. You know what I mean? And you don't like that. When I
don't like that when we're angry.
Yeah.
Or when we're having hard conversations.
Or not even hard conversation, but when you're anxious, when you're sad, when you're upset.
Yeah,
all
it's very...
Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be an argument between me and you.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a generalization. You're just like, don't come near me. Don't touch me.
I think because for me, I'm like, in situations like that, I'm already trying not to cry. So then the second someone touches me, I'm like, it's over. Like, it's like waterworks, you know? So then I feel like if you just like leave me be, I can pass it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone touches me, then it's over. Then I'm like sitting there crying, and then I'm like a mess. I think it just depends.
I suck. I suck at that because my thing is, my toxic trait is that I need self-isolation, but I also need physical touch.
I'm glad that you said that, love. That's a good point. That is your toxic trait.
Because it's just, I guess it's that child.
Well, I think it's fight or flight. You flight, and then like you're away from me, obviously, so that I can't like assure you that we're good because you took off. Which was like what a struggle early on, is that when we have confrontation, I need to sit down right there and I need to solve it. I need to know that we're good and I need to know that we're solid.
And I'm like, nah.
And Martin's like, I need time to process.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that it's in both our best interest to give you the time.
And you're very much of like, no, we need to resolve it right here, right now. And it's just like, no, we're not fucking doing that because I don't fucking do that shit.
And then I think that we've both learned or I guess that I've learned that it's best for both of us to give him time, because then if I push the conversation while he's angry, then I'm not getting like honest responses. I'm just talking to someone who's mad. So then the judgment's already blurred, the conversation's already gone to shit because he's seeing red, and then I feel like he's attacking me when that's not what's happening at all. It's just like the height of the conversation. Mm-hmm. But I feel like we've gotten better at that. I've gotten better at giving you time.
Yeah.
And knowing that, I think when I moved in, I was like, okay, he's not just going to up and leave me, you know? So he can have time to go drive if he needs to drive, and he can have time to sit outside, and he's still going to come home. But when we were younger, I was like, no, get over here. We're going to talk. We need to talk it out right now.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we don't do that.
What's one thing you've appreciated in this past week?
This past week?
Yes. So last Sunday to this Sunday.
Just still being here. You know, still having another day to wake up, because there's people that don't have that fortunate that are still here. There's people that don't wake up today. There's people that are struggling, you know. I'm just grateful to be here another day, be able to deal with the solutions, deal with my problems right now.
What's one thing specifically like that you've appreciated from me this past week?
From you?
Yeah.
Your support. I mean, I've always said that because that support is very thin, you know? And that support system almost is non-existent with the people around me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with the podcast, because I know a lot of people really do support me with that. But me as an individual, it's very thin.
What is your favorite meal that we cook here at our house?
Cook here?
Yeah.
I just love chicken cutlets. Love it.
Okay.
I love chicken cutlets. What about you?
That we make here. I like making albóndigas. I think that's my favorite.
Yeah, they're good.
And then, what else? Oh, and then when you make spaghetti.
You like my spaghetti?
I don't know what you do to it, but it is 10 out of 10. Maybe we should have that tonight.
Do it tonight, maybe.
Yeah. That sounds so good, actually. Yeah, so your spaghetti, my albóndigas, and we're good.
Are there any friends are there any people, friends to relatives, you want to get closer to, and why?
I feel like my family can get closer. I feel like when I was younger, our family unit was very strong, like in the sense of like my uncles and my cousins, and everyone was kind of kumbayaing, you know. And I feel like now it's harder because everyone's growing up and everyone has their own thing to do, and everyone has their own cars and own places and own commitments.
Yeah.
There's a lot of drama sometimes in that. So I just wish that my family would get closer. In saying that, though, that would mean that I need to like put forth more of an effort, which I'm willing to do. I just feel like sometimes it's not reciprocated.
And that's hard too with like family, because you know the family drama. It's hard to accept the wrongs. You know, you might have to swallow your pride.
Well, then I think I'm kind of bad at that. I'm personally bad at that. because I like to think that I'm always right, and that my stance is like the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm bad at that too. But I think overall, like my family in general could get closer.
I don't feel like you are bad at that. I just feel like you know your boundaries, you know the reality of it, and if they don't see it from that point on, you know, if they do you wrong, they do you wrong. You know, and I learned from my personal experience with family, like there is always going to be beef and issues whether they get resolved or not, and that always is going to stay. And there's shit that I wish that we didn't have to go through, and a lot of the shit is unnecessary, but they make it necessary, they make it a big deal, and it is what it is at the
And
end
then I
of the
feel
day.
like the concept of like family was different, like because we were raised very differently.
Yeah,
Like your family, you consider as like your sibling, your parents and your siblings, and that's it.
yeah, that's all that matters.
That's the extent of your siblings or of your family. I'm sorry. Whereas for me, it was like, yeah, it was my parents and my siblings, but more so it was like my uncles and my aunts and my grandparents, and like that was like as far as the circle went. Was like my parents and their siblings, because they very much were like present when we were growing up. So when it was like a family event, like I'm seeing my mom's brothers and I'm seeing my dad's sisters and I'm seeing my grandparents and I'm seeing and a lot of the time it was like together at our house.
Yeah.
So it was like my two worlds colliding. So yeah, I just think that because our families, like because the stance that each of our families took about like families, it is kind of hard to like navigate both, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's hard because like we grew up in a traditional Mexican household where the beef of family can go on, you know, for years.
Yeah.
Shit doesn't get solved. And a lot of families are like that. A lot of Hispanic families are like that. That the fucking beef that they have is very deep, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is with ours. You know, there's no coming back from the beef that they have. And for the longest, I mean, I've always been jealous of other people that when they have family functions, because I'm just like, fuck, we would never experience that. When we were younger, hell yeah. But just so much drama, so much shit just got.
Yeah, like I said, it was just more people. Like more people got added to the mix, like
Yeah.
spouses and kids and all that. And like that changes the dynamic too.
Yeah, and it's just like, that's wild that's how shit ends, you know? And the reality of it is that if there's any way to salvage it. But if there isn't, that there's no going back, and it is what it is, then it is what it is. Like, family's gonna be there. I know I've found out from my own perspective, family doesn't necessarily have to be through blood. Family is the people that are gonna be with you, that are gonna love you, that are gonna take care of you, that are gonna be by your side regardless of what it is.
Well, then I think like with anything, like if you give people time and space, I feel like sometimes that helps. Sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like sometimes people just need like processing time to work through. I think it just kind of depends on the situation at hand.
Yeah, I don't know.
My turn or your turn?
You asked about family, no?
I think so.
Or did I ask about family?
I couldn't tell you actually.
No, I asked.
Dang it.
Get close to you and why?
What is something you want to do together that we haven't?
Travel the world.
I knew you were going to say that. I was going to say the same thing.
I want to. It's just we don't have the funds yet. You know.
You don't know, and in time we will.
Yeah.
You guys are going to see us in Hawaii, in Mexico, and where else do you want to go? Japan. I want to go to Japan.
We can go to Japan. I just want to travel. I want to be in different places. I want to explore the world. Are there any conflicts that we've had in the past that you didn't feel we are wholly or don't feel that are wholly resolved yet?
No, I don't think so. For us personally, I feel like a lot of the issues we went through were solved.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't feel. Do you feel?
Oh, I don't. Not that I can think of. Would be like, oh yeah, I remember it now.
I remember in the 10th grade,
Yeah, no.
you didn't carry my backpack.
No. I have a deep one, but you need to answer.
You
There's
just
no-
passed.
There's no.
Okay, ask it. Let's see.
You have to answer.
Okay, ask it. Let's see.
Is there anything about me that you don't currently know but want to.
I just want to know how your brain works.
I told you guys before, my brain runs in 1,000 miles, but anything like in particular about my brain and certain emotions or shit like that, or
I just want to. I wish I knew. Like, I wish I can be a fly. I wish there was a movie of your life, from like the second you were born. No, listen. I wish there was a movie of your life
shit show,
from the second that you were born, and then I was the only one in the movie theater, and I was able to watch everything.
You wouldn't want to fucking live through that.
I just want to see everything. Like, I want to see, like, because you and your sisters tell me like what it was like growing up, and your mom and your dad, and you guys have some home videos that I can see, which is the closest I'll ever get. Mm-hmm. But I just want to be like a fly on the wall and see like when exactly like an event happened that changed you like as a person.
A lot. There's a lot of events.
But that's what I'm saying. I just want to be like a fly on the wall and like just see it. I think that'd help me better understand you.
I wouldn't want you to see that shit.
That's what you asked me. The question was for me, sir. I'm answering it.
Yeah, no, but I'm being honest now. I don't.
Well, it's not possible. If there was a way to get your whole life in a movie, I 100% top dollar. I'm paying for it.
Yeah, no. It was not pretty, bro. And I just feel like my head's always been a dark place.
But I want to know what it's like in there.
It's too dark. Too fucking dark.
So yeah, that's my answer to your question. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Is there anything you want to know more about me?
About you?
Yeah.
Nah.
No?
No, because I know you.
There's nothing like one thing that you're like, oh, I want to see when that started.
No, because I know how you are, and then I know that I know how you are, and then I also know like how you operate, and like when you started to have issues, like let's say like for example your anxiety, that was always something that you grew up with, you know.
I was born with her.
Yeah, But again, like I said, like I know a lot about you, and I pay attention to a lot of the small details, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
What makes you feel loved?
Physical touch. just having you around me, just hugging me. That's just how I am. Like showing affection, and you struggle with that.
Thank you.
You struggle with showing affection. You always have in our relationship.
Okay. I didn't know you're just calling us out now.
No, it's just the truth.
Yeah, that is an issue. I feel like I struggle physically to show emotion. I feel like you struggle mentally to share.
Mentally, yeah.
I feel like
emotionally, no. I show you every.
Yeah. No, emotionally, I do see, but I feel like mentally, like the inner workings of your brain, you don't share.
I don't need you to know that.
Whereas I don't share like physicality. I don't. I don't know why. I don't mean to. And I do now. I feel like I've gotten better, like holding her hand or like here at home. But then in public, I'm still like, ew, my mom's right there. Don't touch me. But like, she knows what's going on. So like, it's just my issue.
Yeah, you've always had problems with showing affection.
Yeah.
And being affectionate.
I feel like your parents were kind of affectionate.
No, they weren't.
You don't think so?
No.
In some pictures I see, they're like all up on each other.
No. What it is, and this fucked me up the last time that I saw it, but there's studies of like psychologists that say that if you crave like affection and physical touch and like all that, it's because you struggled with that.
Yeah.
Growing up or even having like the desired love, like that child needed that desired love
so like scale. Your love, the way that you receive love is what you needed when you were younger.
Yeah. That's what the psychologist said. And it fucked me up just because I was like, damn, you know, like it's true in its own way.
Yeah.
But that's why I think I'm very sensitive. Or not sensitive, but I'm not as sensitive to a lot of shit that I should be.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, but I don't got to sit here and cry about shit or be like that, you know? And maybe sometimes I should, but then at the same time, I'm just like, nah.
That's what I was going to say. I think there's a time and place for everything. And sometimes it is good to let it out.
Yeah, no. I'm a fucking man. I'm not a bitch. That's what I learned.
Some men can't show emotion.
Men are not allowed to.
Okay, everyone go back to the men's mental health episode. Clip it right here.
No, it's just how I was raised. But now, like I said, like I learned that sensitive side because you have to be like that. You can't be alone.
Well,
You
and
can't
then I
fight a
think
lot of
like with
shit alone.
everything that you grow and you change and it evolves, you know?
Yeah, you have to evolve. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn the person that you're gonna be and who you are. That's how
Yeah.
I found out, and like I can't play that, oh, nothing phases me, nothing affects me, and just be whatever and not show any emotion. You have to be the person that you're destined to be. Like you can't continue playing this facade of like, oh yeah, like
I'm a big, strong man. Nothing hurts me.
and that's not true. And like you go through a lot. You go through depression. You go through anxiety. You go through all that shit. Like it fucks you. It fucks with you.
Yeah. What else?
My turn.
I believe so.
How often do you think it's important to have these deep dive conversations?
I'd say like once or twice a year. It's yearly annual check-ins. I mean, we have deep conversations every day. That's a lie. We have them pretty often, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like they need to be more often. Like in relationships as a whole.
I feel like we check in with each other, not necessarily in like questions, but like, oh, how do you feel about this, and this, you know?
We definitely talk about a lot of shit. Like when there's stuff that bothers us that we go to like certain events, certain family functions, whatever it is, and it's just like, we have to check in with one another.
Yeah, and then we come home and before we go to bed, we're like
We need
breaking
to
it
talk about
down.
that shit,
Let's break it down.
What the fuck was all this about, And we do that just because it's one of those deep conversations that you need to have. And I feel like you definitely do need to have it pretty often because then, again, you evolve. You learn different things. You change. Your answers can change. Your thought process continuously changes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it has to be pretty often, and that way you guys can have an open conversation.
Yeah, like an open dialogue.
Yeah, with one another, and it benefits the relationship just because that shit continues to be fresh. That continues to,
You're like up to date.
Yeah, to learn more about one another in the relationship.
I agree. How much time together versus time apart do you generally need and want?
Together, it never bothers me. Like if you're around, and if you got to go do other stuff, then you can go do other stuff. Time apart, I mean, I don't need it. I know you say it all the time that you're just like, you know what, I just need to go do something else for right now. I need to go watch a movie or go watch something, and then you stay here playing your games or something like that. But
yeah,
for me, no, like I don't. It doesn't bother me. If you're around me, cool. If you don't want to be around me, that's cool too.
but like for our relationship, what do you think is like how long is for me too long to be away?
To be away?
Yeah.
If you leave, I mean, just if you have to go on a trip, yeah. But like, maybe like 2 days, just because it feels off balance.
Yeah.
Know?
See, I'm a weenie. I need you home every night.
Yeah, you do.
Like, I cannot go to sleep if you're not home. I'm so sorry. So like, go do what you want to do throughout the day. Like, go do what you want, but like, please come home and go to sleep so I can go to sleep peacefully.
What's your favorite memory of our relationship?
My favorite memory. I don't know what year it was. It was when we were younger. But we went to the beach, just us, and we were vibing, and we took my laptop, and we were at like the dunes, and we had a fire going, and we were behind my truck, and we were watching movies.
Yeah.
I think that's been my favorite one so far. I mean, obviously we go to Disneyland pretty often, so I like going to Disneyland, but I feel like the beach was more intimate. It was like more me and you time.
Mm-hmm.
And Disneyland is just fun, you know? So I feel like the beach was fun. We took my laptop and we used our hotspots and we were watching a movie. We had a fire going. We were in the back of my truck. It was like sunset.
Yeah.
I feel like that was my favorite one. Do you have one? You can't say the same one. That's cheating.
Yeah. I'm trying to think right now. I'd say the time that we went to San Francisco to go see your best friend, because you were saying that you wanted to go see her for a minute, and just to be there and to go on a road trip. That was our first road trip that we went since you moved in.
Yeah.
And that would have to be my favorite memory, just because that was the first time that you didn't have to have your mom tracking you on the fucking device.
Okay, don't shade my mom.
Where she thought you were a singer, but we were at the zoo, you know?
Oh, she knows that one. She's never going to live that down.
Yeah, and she hung up on my mom. My mom remembered that. No, I'm just playing.
I was like, she hung up on me. We were at Tang Dynasty.
Yeah, we were eating, but you were at Sanger.
And I was in Sanger, supposedly.
Yeah.
I was like 15.
All those trackers never worked. Nah, but yeah, I would say that. Going to SF, and that was our first official like road trip, you know?
Yeah, since I moved in. That was fun. That was recently. That was like April.
I don't remember.
That was fun though. It was around Easter time because we drove back with her. Do you hate me?
No. What the fuck?
I opened another list and it says, do you hate me? Do we have any traditions, or will we make any traditions?
I think we would make any new traditions.
What traditions do you think? Do you think we have any that we like try to do every year?
No.
You don't feel like we have any traditions?
No, what would be one?
Putting up the tree together.
But I feel like that's not tradition. That's more of what we need to do if we want to decorate for the house, you know? Or have it nice.
So it would be an example of a tradition then.
If we host like Thanksgiving, if we host Christmas, stuff like that. You know, one thing that I do want it is to start hosting stuff, because it is time consuming to be jumping back and forth, and then like one person's gonna feel some type of way that we weren't there long enough. Another person's gonna be like, oh, you know, feeling more like we weren't there, and then it sucks just because like having to deal with that like I don't want to keep having to deal with some sort of a backlash. Like I'd rather, all right, we're gonna host something. If you come, you come. If you don't, that's yours. That's your choice.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we can get there eventually. I don't think this year is it. I think in the years to come that's definitely possible. And whoever wants to come can come, and whoever decides not to can decide not to, you know?
Yeah. It was like that video that I showed you with that white guy that was talking about his family. Like now when you move out and you have your own thing, if you have your own thing and you invite us, you don't have to be like feeling like, oh, I need to go with my mom and dad to this Thanksgiving thing.
Yeah.
He was just like, no, like you have your family.
Yeah.
Like you still are a part of my family, and you're always going to be welcomed in my home. But I know that things are going to change because now you have your own started family.
Which is fair. I just feel like for me, it doesn't feel like the holidays if I'm not around my family. And that's, again, goes back to how we were raised. Like, it's just, I feel like if I don't see my grandparents, then it's not like really Christmas, you know?
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, it's just, I definitely want to make it more tradition for us to host it. So then that way it's all of us.
Well, then it'd be easier for us.
And then easier for everybody else, because then now we don't have to jump around. Now it's everybody all together.
Yeah.
And if you come, you come. If you don't, that's okay. But I do want to start that tradition because, like I said, it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, and I hate hurting people's feelings because it's not our intention to not be there, not do this, not do that.
Yeah, and it'd just be easier if we were here.
We have to go by the schedule, because if not, then things just doesn't go to order, or
or we end up feeling some type of way, or they end up feeling some type of way, or like.
And I just don't got the mentality and patience.
Well, like you said, it's just not our intention to hurt anybody. It's just hard.
Yeah.
So when we decided to share or to split holidays, because we split every holiday, so we're going to at least 4 houses.
Yeah.
A holiday. And in about an 8-hour span, that's about 2 hours each house. And then we like flip flop every year for like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But no, I understand where you're coming from. I think that it'd be cool. Just trying to manage that many people just stresses me out. But again, that's just who I am. Because I'm a planner, so I need to know like who's coming, what time are you coming, how many people are you bringing? Like
that's what it is. You're a loser.
That's just how my brain works.
No, I know. So
I feel like that's why it stresses me out.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Christmas party or anti-Thanksgiving or anti...
You're the fucking Grinch.
Oh, I'm the Grinch? Yeah, I agree. I think that that's to come in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's something to look forward to, something to plan and prep. But yeah, we'll see how it goes this year. This year we're still splitting. We're going to do our best. This year we do get to end with your family, though, for Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be fun. Because our nieces are going to be it's their first Christmas. Well, it's one of their first Christmas. It's the other one's second Christmas. But they're like old enough now to like open presents and sit there and pretend like they know what's going on.
Yeah. We'll see. The holidays are around the corner.
I love the holidays, though.
I do too. I enjoy that just because like it brings to light the stuff that, you know, just to give back and to be in this giving mood.
The holiday magic.
Mood. Yeah. And like I feel like it cures the kid inside of me, you know.
Oh, for sure, every year.
Yeah. So then eventually, like, I think I told Ramon about the podcast stuff and everything. Eventually, I want to get to a point where we can buy a shit ton of toys, you know, or a shit ton of essentials for teenagers and kids and give that out. And, you know,
yeah, like a Toys for Tot type thing.
Yeah, but not like Toys for Tots like for little kids, but I want to give something to like the teenagers and like.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
that'd be cool.
Something to give back to the community in that sort of sense, and also like we were talking to Ivan and Juan, and then we kind of discussed about giving back to homeless people and helping them out in the winter, like buying clothes, like sweaters, hoodies, you know, and helping them out, maybe blankets, whatever it is, gloves, mittens, socks, all that stuff, just so that way they can have that.
Yeah, and then just some warmth, so not everyone's getting sick.
And we want to hopefully get to that point where we could. And even if we can't, then like me, Ivan, and Juan and Ramon kind of said like, well, let's set up goals, let's set up financial goals, and that way we can buy stuff from our money to give back. You know?
Yeah,
that's our goal. It's always been our goal, and it's just going to continue getting bigger. That's just how we view it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good goal to have, giving back to people, especially during the holiday time.
For sure, just because like it's unfortunate that a lot of homeless people, you know, may not be able to be reunited with their family, and you don't know their story.
Yeah,
you know, and then they're out there in the cold.
Yeah, for sure, and it gets cold here. And frosty.
Yeah, but we should be happy and fortunate that we have our families and to get together and have a great time.
Yeah, that we are. We are very lucky.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have that. And we're, like I said, we're coming up with plans to give back to the community and give back to people, even if it's something that we can figure out just for a little bit. I mean, we don't have...
Yeah, like a short-term plan or...
we don't have a lot of money. We're not Mr. Beast. Eventually, if that happens, or when it happens, we're definitely going to do shit 10 times bigger.
I love that for you guys.
All right, let me ask you this one question. How do you feel about the whole podcast thing?
How do I feel about the whole podcast? Like what sense? What do you mean?
Everything, like how we've came so far, the guests that we've had, everything. Is there anything that you foresee in us in the future?
I really like the podcast. I am your number one fan.
Thank you.
Literally and figuratively. I like the topics that you guys discuss. I like the flow of conversation for the most part, except when Ramon bullies me. I think you guys have two similar takes, but they're not always... I think you guys think the same, but your takes aren't always similar.
Yeah.
Which is good to have like a little bit of controversy. I think that you guys will do big things, like the way you guys talk and the way you guys like configure things with the podcast. Like I definitely see where it can like develop into this bigger thing. I think you guys being consistent has helped a lot.
Yeah.
And making it work with whoever you can, whenever you can, as fast as you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see a lot of big things happening. If you guys stay persistent and consistent and making it work. One thing that I would like to see is maybe more female guests. You guys are the broke boys from Fresno, so I get why you have a lot of guys. But maybe another girl's opinion besides my own wouldn't do any bad. Just saying.
Yeah.
we want to look for more females because we've asked.
And I think just females are more reluctant to share.
Yeah, but then like we've asked people and then they're just like, no, I'm kind of nervous. No.
Well, then they don't really know what to talk about. Like if we're all 20-something-year-olds, like it is kind of hard. Like let's talk about this, and this. You know, like it's kind of hard because everyone in their 20s is in
I want
such
somebody
different
to be
places.
like, yes, I'm in. I'm forward for it. Let's do it. You know.
Yeah.
And so far, like the guys have been like that. You know, all the guys that we've had there, but like, yes, lab would love to do it. Let me be on. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, when I've asked certain people, they've been, you know, certain girls have been like, I don't think so. Or, you know.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like I think the same thing. And like we saw the comment the other day on Spotify that they were like, we want more of Kat. And
yeah,
it's
that's
just like,
crazy because I just don't know what I'm talking about.
and I'm like, yeah, like for sure. Like you're not just in the background being a producer. You're also a part of this crew, you know?
Yeah.
So we definitely would have loved to bring you in and have more of your input and have more of the open conversation.
Yeah. And I'd like to. I mean, you caught me when I was sick, so I sound like a man. But yeah, I'd like to. It's just scheduling issues sometimes, and then you guys have to do podcasts at like random days, and during the week I'm kind of busy, so it's just kind of hard to figure all that out.
Yeah.
But when I can, I will. I've told you guys. I'll sit here and share my dumb thoughts.
Yeah. I know we have a lot of scheduled to do because for you, we wanted to do the Day of the Dead and you wanted to talk about
I love Day of the Dead.
that. And we have the Halloween special. We have things lined up that we need to get done recorded.
Well, then I think it's important to note that you're planning all these things ahead so that during the holidays there is no break.
Yeah.
Like that way everything's still being uploaded. They're filming it early so that during Christmas he's not focused on the podcast. The podcast is already done.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to get ahead of a lot of things so that way things are set in stone so that way we don't have to. All right, so then we're still releasing content on specific days and that we're still putting stuff out, you know, for people to listen and people to enjoy in the holidays, which is why we're like, okay, we need to take advantage. We need to come up with more ideas, more things. Like now that we have a group effort of like people suggesting stuff, like we love that. We love suggestions. We love that people come give us feedback, positive. It could be negative also. Like we don't mind.
We should put a poll, not a poll, like an open answer question thing on the Broke Boys TikTok, and hear like top. What am I trying to say? Conversation starters, like what they would like to hear your guys' opinion on.
I want to on TikTok, but we haven't got a lot of recognition on TikTok yet.
Yeah, I just feel like Instagram is like the biggest one you guys have right now.
I feel like Instagram is very interactive.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of following on both, but I do want to start like not a poll, but like a ask. I want to ask and have suggestions of who I should have next on the podcast.
Yeah, or like even conversations to have. Because I know sometimes that's hard to figure out when like it feels like the whole world is talking about one thing.
Yeah, and one thing too that me and Ramon and you we've agreed on is politics is a no, because we don't. It's a very sensitive topic. And it's very controversial.
It's very personal too. Like everyone has their own reasons for doing certain things.
And we don't want people to get the wrong impression of that, you know? And we all have different viewpoints politically.
Yeah,
and we respect each other's boundaries on it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to ever be like how did I explain it? I explained it good to Ramon and to Ivan when they asked me about politics. And this is what it was. It was I don't want the left wing, the left wing extremists or the right wing extremists to be like, oh, look at them, like, you know, like they don't know what they're talking about, you know? And it's just like, okay, so then we're stuck and we try to be neutral, but then they're like, oh, you're too stupid to be neutral. You need to pick a left or the right side.
Yeah, it is very, and then there are more political parties than even just that.
Yes.
But yeah, I just feel like there's no judgment there. I feel like if we just don't talk about it, like it's still a safe place, you know?
Yeah, this is a safe spot. We're not political. We don't want to make you think like, yeah, we're what is it called? Like a politician podcast or anything like that. Like we're not spreading politics out here or anything like that.
And then a lot of the time we're not informed enough to like even speak on the topic.
Yeah, that's why we haven't brought up anything of like the war that's going on or stuff like that. Like we would, but we're not well informed. And then the last thing that we want is to say something bad, and then it's
Or
not true.
incorrect or
or you know, everyone gets their news differently. You know, they're like, oh, you're not giving the whole truth. You know,
Yeah.
like we don't want to be that type of podcast either. So we've been keeping it just like, okay, we make it funny, we make it entertaining, we bring inside jokes that way you guys can understand. We talk about the video games, we try to talk about movies, you know, just have it nice and casual. We want it to be
We want it to feel organic, like that the conversation is just
you're a part
rolling.
of the conversation also.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of people, they've asked me, oh, like, you know, write a script, write all this. And I'm just like, I don't like that. I don't like it script. I do think like we should have it organized so that way we don't get off track.
Yeah, like a loose outline.
Yes, but not a script. I don't want it to be fake. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be natural. Like,
I think, can you guys imagine like you and Ramon writing a script for each other?
That would be horrible. That would be horrible. We both suck at English, so it's just like, could you imagine? I've seen Ramon's text messages when we're talking. Like you know, you know what that's like. So it's just like maybe not.
Maybe we're gonna pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely like an outline. But you know, definitely if you have any suggestions on people to have on the podcast, please let us know. I think I do want to start a poll on the Instagram and have it free open for anybody. It could be anybody from, you know, family friend that you know, or somebody that has an interesting story.
Yeah.
We don't mind. We definitely, like I said, I have had a lot of people that have been like, yeah, I want to be on, you know?
Yeah.
Females are not restricted. Relax. But I do want a female on here and to express, be open, you know, not hold back.
It is scary though.
You think so?
Maybe a little bit. Because then like whatever you say is, it might not be set in stone for you, but in that moment you felt it enough to say it, and then it's going to be on like Spotify forever.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part that's kind of scary. So like the permanency, because like I could say, oh my God, I hate cats today. And then next week have a cat. And then people will be like, oh, well, you hated cats last week, you know?
Yeah.
There's like the permanency of that comment.
That's true.
So I get where it's kind of scary, but the guys will edit anything out that you don't want in there.
Yeah. And if you don't like what certain stuff that you said and you're like, oh, you know what? I second guess that. Can you cut that part out? No
Yeah, or like,
problem.
hey, let's scrap and re-record. Like now you have an idea of what it's like.
Yeah. You know what I do think about now is like maybe going to other people's houses and record so that way they're in their comfort zone.
That's a good idea.
Because like I feel like they come here and they're just like, we try to make it comfortable here in the living room when we have guests.
Yeah.
But then I just feel like maybe they probably would feel a little bit comforted if it's at their home.
Yeah, maybe their home or like a neutral area. I think the only hard part of that is like you need Wi-Fi and access to like a strong Wi-Fi, which I'm sure you can find if you want.
Wi-Fi and power outlets for the
Yeah.
soundboard. Yeah. But again,
That's a good idea. Like a good, hey, like let's meet halfway at this like Starbucks. Or,
I don't think at a Starbucks. I don't think I could take this whole thing at a Starbucks.
when it came out of my mouth, I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, no, maybe not that. Maybe it has to be at someone's house.
Yeah.
And so it could be at your house or my house, whatever it is.
True that.
Yeah. So I don't know. What is it called? Food for thought.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. But yeah, throw some suggestions. Let us know if you guys have any concept ideas that you guys want us to do. If you guys want us to do like a game or something like that could be interesting, and you know me and Ramon, especially Ramon will make it funny. Yeah. So we can come up with something to make it funny. We can make it serious.
Yeah, let them know.
Let us know. Let us know on the socials. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Kat, for being here. And shout out to Ramon, even though he's not here.
Anytime.
He's here in spirit. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to another episode. Please follow our Instagram page and our TikTok page at BrokeBoys with a Z _FF. Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Anytime.
You always here.
I was like, I live here.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, much love. Thank you guys for listening for another episode, and stay tuned for the next. Peace.
Bye.
We them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. I'll never leave my dogs behind. We stick together like we signed. We shooting stars, one of a kind. We undefeated, just resign. Money more lower than a bitch nowadays. Don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. You still debating why I got it on lock. Yo, bitch want me, so I'ma give her my card. I got my rush from an A-ball. Self-made, baby, I can do it all. I know some praying on my downfall, but I came from nothing, so I never fall. You know, we them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. You know, we them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. I got money on my mind. All I know is how to grind. You couldn't stop me if you try to work in horse. I'm running blind. We work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All we know how to do is work, is work, is work. We work Thursday, Friday, Saturday. All we know how to do is work, is work, is work. I seen this life before my eyes. That deja vu on point, no lies. I know this life was meant for me. Don't need no crystal ball to see. We live this life with no regret, cause it's a life that we all chose. For real, we them broke boys from the hood. We live this life with no regret, cause it's the life that we all chose. For real, we them broke boys from the hood. You know, we them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. You know, we them broke boys from the hood. We on them missions, understood. Won't catch us lacking, we that good. We always winning like we should. We flying high, we butterfly up to the sky. No way you catching us, goodbye. Pray to God we make it out alive. Pray to God we make it out alive. Pray to God we make